This is a modified RC Volitation 9053. As you can see, I modified the rudder in the back. This is off an Alloy King. It's a big helicopter. It's a perfect fit for the nut on the back of the motor here. There's a nut inside there, and this actually slides right on that. All you gotta do is remove this plastic cover in order to make it fit and make this circle on this plastic cover that's covering the gear a little bigger. After that, because it is much bigger, we gotta cut into this decoration over here, the tail decoration, to give it proper upper clearance, and obviously for the lower blade, for the lower part of the blade, lower clearance, and obviously you want to go a little bigger in case the wind flexes the blade up or down. Another modification that I did was I lowered the blades. Top blade stays the same. All we do is flip the blade gripper over. There's a couple of videos on YouTube that's done pretty easy. I found one that's very easy, and a lot of people don't know this, but this black collar right here, this actually pops off if you grab it. So you do not have to take apart all these gears down here. All you would have to do is just release this bottom gear, and this top comes completely off. And then you loosen the gripper, flip that over, put the blades on, take the blades off, flip those over once the gripper's flipped over. You want to flip the blades over as well, put them on first before putting the assembly back onto the helicopter. And you want to take proper care in putting these two little screws that are inside here on the outer shaft. The way I did it, because you want to make sure you get inside the hole in the middle, in the metal. You want to make sure you get inside those holes. What I did is I stuck a small screwdriver on the hole that I didn't have the screw in yet, and I slid this assembly down until it caught the hole with the little screwdriver. Then I fed this screw in while I still had the screwdriver in here, basically guiding my hole. Then I fed this screw in and tightened that one up first. Then I fed this one. But make sure you try getting this on the first try, because if you don't, you'll strip the screw or strip the shaft or strip the plastic. Any which way, you're going to be stepping on shit if you don't get it the first time. So my idea would be better if you would do it that way, I think, unless you can hit it first try. But guess what? This is my second helicopter of the same model. My first one didn't go up, so I replaced it anyways, but I wasn't able to get it on the first try on the other helicopter. And when I did it this way, it went in much easier, and I caught it first time around, because these screws, they do grip in and they go in tight, but only hand tight, just enough with your fingers basically, but not loose. So you want to definitely torque them down, but only with your finger strength, not anything with the wrist or your arm, because you will strip it as well. So as soon as it goes in, bottom out, and it bottoms out, just give it another quarter turn or something like that, and that should be tight enough. Another thing I did before I slid this top blade assembly in, I lubricated the pole a little bit with a little lubricant, just in case, even though there's a bearing in here. There could be sometimes that it rubs under vibration inside the outer shaft, so I did that. It could run a little more efficient, or be a little quieter, because it does have a whistling sound. Another thing you can do to eliminate some of the sound is put a little grease or a little like white type lithium on here, but real fine thin coat. You don't have to go around the whole wheel. You can just put it on one side. After this spins a couple of times, it will lubricate the whole thing. You don't want to put enough on there also to spit out, but also you don't want to turn on the helicopter revolving the blades. You want to revolve them by hand to get for these to coat. But this is another thing you could do. It may run more efficiently, but it'll definitely be quieter. Anyways, enough of the bullcrap talking. Another mod that I want to do is put in a bigger battery, but I didn't do that yet. I have it here. But I modded the crap out of this last night with these mods that I did, and I wanted to fly it first without the battery, just because I want to see what the weight difference is going to be in the front. So I want to see how much this back router is going to work, how much more efficient it is now, because this helicopter does move forward and backwards nicely indoors, but outdoors it does have a problem. So if indoors it does move pretty nicely, imagine wind coming at it outdoors. So it's a total different ball game outdoors, because helicopters tend to be more buoyant and fly away outside than they do inside. So you want to make sure you have some power and some control to make sure you get your helicopter back. Otherwise, it's just going to be gone with the wind, as they would say. One thing you could also do, this piece right here is just decoration. Everyone's talking about putting it back in. I could care less. I think it looks nice though. I don't like it, but I do like it sometimes, but I could care less if I take it off. It's just decorated piece right here and this thing right here. But whatever, it looks like a helicopter. And another thing I'm going to do soon is route this antenna up through the back. It looks like it's pretty long on this helicopter. Some of them are shorter antennas, but you're going to route it out the back, up through here, and underneath this clamp right here, and maybe under this one or tie it down here. But I'm going to try to get it as far as I can to the tail. So if I have to add something here, maybe a Y tie or something, I will. Another mod to do is when I get a chance, especially when I put the bigger battery in here, it's going to weigh more, so it's obviously going to get hotter. Even though I got a 30C discharge rate battery, which will help keep the motors running cooler because it doesn't have to pull from the battery. It's basically the battery's going to give it to it versus the motor asking for the power. When you get a higher discharge rate, the battery tends to push the power to it versus the motor trying to pull the power out of it. Any which way, it will run cooler with that battery, but it could also tend to run hotter because it's got a little more weight to it. So what you want to do, depending on what you're doing, if you're driving it at high speeds and really tinkering with it, it's going to run hot under the weight. So what you want to do is drill a hole somewhere around here. You don't have to be right up front. You don't have to be right in the back, but somewhere around here, because with the blade spinning, it's going to force air straight down. And with the helicopter moving forward, it'll force wind straight in. So we'll ventilate all your electronics that are way up in front that also get a lot of battery heat up inside there. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel sometime, please do so. I will be doing more mods to this thing. I'm also into racing with a truck, and I also had a motorcycle sometime, and I might be getting back on one sometime soon. But if you like to subscribe and you like the videos, let me know. And if you guys have a problem with one of your helicopters, believe me, I'm very into these things. I could probably help you out because I can basically take this thing apart. From the first day I got it, I already took a lot of it apart, and I know how it goes back together. So if you guys have a problem or a drivability issue where it can't lift off, I can help you with that as well. And your blades as well, you want to keep them tight, but you also want them loose. But one thing I did just to make sure, sometimes when you put them just tight enough, they feel nice in movement, but when you move them up and down, when you lift them up and down, they tend to move in here, inside this pot right here. You tend to see a little play. So they still flex. I tighten them down enough where they flex, but you don't get that loose feeling in here, but yet they're still moving freely. So you want to tighten them down, but you still want that free-flowing movement. If you tighten them down where they're not free-flowing, but they're not stuck, that's still okay because they will wear in a little bit and they'll be free-flowing in a couple of flights. But it's good to get it right the first time, all four blades, because it will eliminate a lot of the vibration, especially on takeoff, like the jumping or the turning. It'll eliminate all that, and it'll give you a much smoother running helicopter. Mod that I ordered, which I'm kind of afraid of flying this thing right now, because I already broke a set of blades in the first helicopter, is the balance bar. You can get one from a 9077 double horse at xle.com for $5. I do not endorse them, but that's where I got my part. It's basically a shorter balance bar without the metal. It won't cut your blades. I mean, it could, but tendency is not to cut the blade, and it's a lighter weight, so it could help the helicopter spin to speed much quicker. So if you are trying to lift this thing up quick or move it around fast or something like that, having a lighter weight and a rotational force could help the motor inside this helicopter spin up much faster and or run more efficient, use less energy, get more run times, etc. Anyways, let me put this thing up. I'm talking too much, and we'll go from there. It's just going to be a flight short, because the longer I keep it up, I'm probably going to screw up. I don't want to screw this thing up because I have some time in it. This one's in fairly nice condition, so here we go. Definitely flies much better. but I do feel like I want to land this thing because it's scaring the crap out of me because my room's kind of small. But man, when I lift forward on this thing now, for it to go forward, this thing nosedives now. It even feels like it drops down, which means that outside, because the air is more buoyant, this thing will tend to float more up. So it definitely is going to move forward outside now. It's not going to go backwards and be gone with the wind, and you have to chase it down and hopefully catch it before it crashes. So there's definitely a difference on here. And as you can, I don't know if you guys heard, but this thing is definitely running much quieter since the way I did the blades. So I'm actually very happy I did do that and explained that to you. You basically want to get everything very well balanced because you have to figure everything's turning at a high rate of speed. So if everything's well balanced and loosened the same or tightened the same, it's perfect. You want it very, very well even. Once again, this is a Volitation 9053. A couple of mods. This rudder right here is off an Alloy King. I believe it's made by RC Toys. I got it at a mall kiosk. I know the kid over there, he actually just gave it to me. But it fits perfectly on here. Once again, all I got to do is remove this gear cover and make that circular hole a little bigger, hopefully with a circular file, and then cut this down and leave a little extra clearance in case this blade flexes. Basically, just put your finger weight on, see how low it goes, and just push a little bit up and see how high it goes. But you definitely want to leave a little more clearance. A lot of people are cutting spare blades and adding a piece on here. I find that it could help out doing it that way. I don't see how much it could help out because any which way, the circle's still the same size. So you could spin it a little faster, or if you make it a little wider, it could grab a little bit more air. But because